Put a t-shirt on, put something on your car. Let it be known that you're the person in those zip codes to solve the problems. Put a sign in your own front yard that says, I solve problems around real estate, or something that matches what you're marketing, right? What a great way to put a free marketing. Put a sign in your front yard. Hey everybody, it's Zach Ullman again, and today I want to share with you how to find a house in any market, okay? Because if you've ever wanted to invest in real estate, or you're trying to invest in real estate, or you actually are investing in real estate, I hope you can agree with me, one of the biggest challenges for most people is finding the deal. Now I'm here to tell you, once you become an expert at finding the deal, you will never have problems again, because good deals find money, good deals find resources, good deals find contractors, good deals find partners. Bad deals, you're gonna have a hard time finding all of those. So the key is A, determining what makes a great deal, and then B, learning how to follow that process and turn maybe a mediocre deal into a great deal. So that's a little, we'll have other episodes on that. But today I want to share how to find properties. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you how we're getting properties brought to us for 50 to 60% off the ARV. 50 to 60% discounted properties that are in our mailbox every day. And I'm here to tell you, it's not a wholesaler, right? These are direct with the owner. So keep listening. I'm going to share that. And then I'm also going to share how you can work with us on a daily basis to get access to those properties that we get at these huge discounts. So let's jump into this, gang. So first off, you can find that there's so many different ways to market. And what I always like to tell people is pick your zip codes. Pick 5 zip codes that are around your local area where you live. And the reason I say that is because I want you to be able to drive there. When your phone rings, I want you to be able to drive over there and say, hey, I'm here, I want to look at your house, and I want you to be able to do it. Now, if you have to pay somebody, you have to rely on someone else, you're relying on their schedule, you're relying on their expertise or their lack thereof expertise, they're probably going to want some type of compensation. So that, in my opinion, all the people that we train, we say, hey, start in your backyard. Now, I have to preface that we do a lot of out-of-state investing, and that's a whole different story because we do have boots on the ground. We have people that work with us. But if you're trying to do this on your own, stick to your backyard. There's deals everywhere. You just got to know how to find them. So a great way is to work with realtors. So if you have some realtors that are in your area, now this could be a big area like Phoenix, Arizona, or it could be a small little town like my hometown in Couts, Indiana. I guarantee you I could find a deal in Couts, Indiana. Couts, Indiana has 3,500 people living there. And I could still find a deal because I know what a deal is. I know how to find it. I know where they're at. I know the people that have them. Okay. And it starts with realtors. Okay. This is a great way to do it. There's a lot of big wholesalers out there that work directly with realtors. So call the realtors up, maybe have some lunch with them, explain to them who you are, what you're doing, and how you can add value to them. Okay. Because typically realtors, their main end user is going to be homeowners that have traditional financing. So when they have a house that isn't marketable to the whole world, and what I mean by that is something that needs cash and maybe something that needs moved quickly, their traditional pipeline may not be able to do that. And you could be the person that solves that problem for them. So reach out to some realtors, have a conversation about what they're seeing, what they need, how you can help serve them. Because the only way you're going to get business is if you solve somebody's problem. Okay, understand that you got to be solving somebody's problem. Next up, wholesalers. So if you have wholesalers in your area that now some of you may agree with me, some of you may disagree with me. There's concepts out there called co-wholesaling. There's individuals out there that all they do is focus on disposition. Disposition is a very fancy word for selling, okay? And then there's other individuals that focus only on acquisition, okay? Neither of it's right. You have to find what's best for you. And then there's people out there that have maybe you can start a really good buyer's list. So if you have, if you're connected with other wholesalers and they're having a hard time moving their properties, but you're diligent and you're hammering the phones and you're building your buyer's list, you could be that person that moves that property for them. Now, the key things around this, you want to make sure you're doing it legally. Because if you're marketing somebody else's property and you don't have it under contract, or you don't have a document with equitable interest in it, maybe a lease option, or let me rephrase it, maybe an option, some type of document that lets you actually market that, or you're an actual realtor or attorney that has it under contract, you have an agreement with the seller, you are breaking the law. And then there's places like Illinois where you can only wholesale one property a year without having a license. After that, you need a realtor's license. So make sure you're following the rules and guidelines of the area that you're in. But the big concept around this is find wholesalers that maybe they're great at acquisition, maybe they're monsters at marketing and monsters at getting these properties under contract, but they need some help with the buyer's list. Or they have all of these deals and they don't know how to walk it over them because they don't know how to get creative with it, right? So find a value, find something that you can help them with. Again, you have to provide value. And one of the big things is hey, if you could dispo deals that people are acquiring, or you could be the guy that's marketing or the gal that's marketing on the front for them to get the properties under contract, who wouldn't want to work with you? Right? Who wouldn't want to work with you? Another great thing is attend local RIA meetings. Depending at where you're at in the world, the country, I'm actually coming live from Peru, South America right now, but depending where you're at in the world, there's lots of groups, there's lots of meetings, and there's people out there that have properties under contract that they're looking to get rid of, right? They may not have the negotiation skill. They may not have the marketing skill set. They may not have that skill set required to do whatever it is they're doing. So they're out there looking for other people to help them. You could be that person. And by attending these meetings on a regular basis, you're going to create relationships. You're going to create friends. You're going to get to hear what other people are doing, and it's going to be educational. Now, another one that I love to do is called driving for dollars. This is where you literally get in your car and you start driving around. So the question is, what are you looking for when you're doing this driving for dollars? Well, what you're looking for is distress. So distress can show its face in many ways. It could be long grass. It could be a foreclosure notice on the window. It could be a water shutoff notice. It could be a lot of cars in the front yard, or garbage around, or maybe it looks distressed in the shape in the matter of it hasn't been painted in a while. Right? Look at the houses compared to the rest of the houses. As you're driving through an area, if you have beautiful homes and there's an eyesore, figure that out, right? Write that address down, and then what we can do is we can skip trace it. We can do, we can knock the door. We can put a post-it note there. The idea is, try to find something that looks abnormal. Now, if you're driving down the street and all of them look distressed, maybe find a different area. Right? Maybe find a different area. But the key is you're looking for something we're doing right now is vacant lots. So if you see a vacant lot, we are actually building homes in those vacant lots. So that would be a good conversation to call the person that owns that skip trace and said, hey, I'm actually looking to buy lots. Would you be interested in selling? Or if you find a distressed property, maybe it has overgrown grass, maybe you just go on the door and knock. Right? And if no one answers, you call them, and then you keep coming back and you put that on your list. And if you take the coaching of only doing this in the 5 zip codes around your house, you could go there once a week, right? Once a week, and go on the weekends. It's easy. If it's out of state and it's out of your area, it makes it a heck of a lot harder. Now, the next one is bandit signs. Now, some people love these. Some people hate these. I'm here to tell you, they work. We get deals on them all the time. Now, the key is again, knowing where to place them, knowing what to put on them, and making sure it's not illegal in your area. In some places, you actually get big fines for these. So make sure, again, it's legal. Out here in Arizona, people always argue there's a big court case that I think went all the way to the Supreme Court about a church that was posting signs, and they said it was pretty much legal, but guess what? People still hate them, right? People still hate them. So be responsible around them. What I like to do with them is I like to put them up high, but not so high you can't see them, up high on telephone poles. Okay, and they make tools out there to do that. So you can't really, you need a ladder to tear it down, but you can still see it if you're driving in your car, right? And then what we do is we put like a Google number on there, right? And we say, hey, thank you for calling. Please leave your name, address, and a number I can get back to you, right? And then you call them back and you have that conversation of how you can help them. Now, sending out, the next one is sending out direct mail. I am not a big advocate of this unless you are an expert. And what I mean by an expert is you know how to close deals, you know how to structure deals, you know how to raise the money, you know how to do this whole process. Because I've seen so many people that have paid lots and lots and lots and lots of money to go to these programs to learn how to do real estate, and their advice is go do direct mail. And it's expensive, especially if you're newer and you can't close. It has such a low response rate that if you can't close the ones that are coming at you, it's going to be a waste of your time. And I've seen people spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on direct mail, and the coaching was keep sending it. Keep sending it. And they didn't even know how to have the conversations. They didn't even know how to negotiate. They didn't even know what a deal was, but they were keep sending this direct mail. So I'm a big advocate of free. Realtor conversation is free. Wholesale conversation is free. Attending RIA meetings is free. Driving for dollars is free. Again, with the revelation or with the idea that your time isn't free. So I realize it does take time. It may take a little gas. It may take a pen or a paper here and there. But for the most of us, it doesn't take any actual money out of our pocket. Now, bandit signs is a little bit of money, right? Direct mail is a lot of money, right? So those are some great free ways. Now, some other great free ways that we're doing is we are actually using Facebook groups. We're using groups like Nextdoor. We're using community groups, right? Yard sale groups. I actually have a free training on this, how we're using Facebook groups to inside of yard sale groups and different things like that to get free leads. Right? You just post and you start up a conversation, and then what you can do is you can actually take this and you can give it to a VA, and you can have your VA do it. Okay, but that is another great tool that we're using for marketing. Apps like Nextdoor, striking up conversations. Again, if you're following the coaching and you're doing it in your 5 zip codes, you want people to know who you are. You want people to know that you solve problems around real estate. Right? And things you can post in there is like, hey, here's 5 ways to stop a foreclosure. Here's, X ways to do this. Here's this education to help them, right? Because all we're doing is educating people. And then when they do have that problem, they'll come to you. Put a t-shirt on, put something on your car. Let it be known that you're the person in those zip codes to solve the problems. Put a sign in your own front yard that says, I solve problems around real estate, or something that matches what you're marketing, right? What a great way to put a free marketing. Put a sign in your front yard. Maybe you have individuals, maybe you live in a area where you can put signs out, like big signs, like plywood signs that says, I'll buy your house, or something of that, sell your house quick, stop foreclosure, whatever it is that you're going after. Talk to somebody and make it a referral program. Maybe you got a farmer that owns a great lot on a very busy intersection. I've seen this happen before. Put a sign there. People are going to drive by it every day. Put pull tabs out at the barber shop, at the gas station, right? Put flyers out wherever you're at. Put your business card in the gas station, right? You have to be a monster at this, right? An absolute monster at this. And I'm telling you, if you do, it will work. And those are all just the minimal cost stuff. Now, as we're moving up the echelon, up the scale of costs, you can start cold calling. Now, I love cold calling. We do everything I share with you. We do, and we're getting deals off of it. So, cold calling. The great thing about cold calling is you can do it. The bad thing about cold calling is it takes time, and if you don't have that time or the skill set, again, all this requires skill set too. But you can learn that skill set, and I'm a big advocate of learning that skill set with free stuff. Door knocking, right? Door knocking is another great tool we use. But if you're cold calling, you can do it yourself. You're going to need a dialer to make it the most efficient. And essentially what that does is it dials 2 to 3 numbers, maybe 4 numbers at a time. And so our cold callers are burning through 600 to 800 leads a day. Now, the great thing about that is, that's a lot of leads. But the challenge is each of those has a price to skip trace, right? 10 to 15 cents per pop to skip trace those. And if you're only working in 5 zip codes, you may not have enough distress there. And what I mean by that is right now at the making of this call is there are not enough foreclosures out there to keep us busy. So we've had to go to other stuff because they put a moratorium on the foreclosures. Didn't stop us. We just had to pivot and change our list. So again, we're going after distress, but it's a different type of distress. So cold callers are great, but you got to have a team and you got to be patient. Get ready to spend 2 to 3 months on this, right? And get your pipeline full. And then you have to have a CRM to make sure you're following up with them correctly. And so hiring a set of cold callers, it's a big step. I would recommend, if you've never closed any deals before, don't hire cold callers. Go and figure it out yourself. Go and understand the process yourself so that you know what the process looks like when you hire somebody. Because I've seen this over and over again. People think money solves the issue. They say, hey, I'm just going to go hire this. And they don't know how to do it themselves. And what happens is they don't stay on their KPIs. They don't stay on process because they didn't know the process to begin with. So don't fall into that trap. Another thing we can do is paid ads. So paid ads are great. I love paid ads. Again, it takes money though, and you have to be willing to spend the money to make the money. Again, I would highly recommend, if you're new to this, go out there and make the money. Take 20-30% of what you made, throw it into marketing, throw it into your team. Okay, you can do pay-per-click, you can do Facebook, you can do Google. There's this whole world of it. Now, here's the thing. Imagine you have your 5 zip codes and you're doing all of this. You got your realtors, you got your wholesalers, you got your RIA meetings, you got your driving for dollars, you got your bandit signs. You may be sending out direct mail specifically to hot leads. And I say that specifically. There's some great software out there that allows you to do that, not this mass marketing. And then imagine you make a little bit of money, right? And then you got some signs up at major intersections because you talked to that person. You said, hey, I'm going to put an affiliate phone number. So everyone that calls that phone number, I'm going to give you 5% of what I make. Okay. And it's a vacant field, right? They're monetizing that vacant field. You could go down to your barber shop. You could go down to these little family stores and you could have a flyer. You could have business cards, right? And then you're hitting up the Facebook, right? You're hitting up Facebook for distressed sellers, very targeted marketing. And then you're using the free Facebook groups. And then you're using the next door communities, this whole world of it. If you can't find a deal doing all of that, you're doing something wrong, right? You're not trying hard enough, right? Because you don't even have to do a fraction of that to get a deal. But what you do have to do is you have to be consistent. And what I mean by consistent, do it for 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months every day without stopping, right? And your phone will start ringing because you will be known as the person that solves problems around real estate. Okay, and then what you can do is once you get your first couple deals, you can start hiring people. You can start hiring VAs. You can branch out into different zip codes. You can branch out into different regions that make sense for you. Okay, now with that being said, that is the heavy lifting of real estate. Once you get a deal under contract, right, you can send it off to an acquisition team, right, and have people handle it. Now, what I want to share with you is how we're doing tons of real estate with absolutely zero marketing, right? We're not working with wholesalers. We're not doing any of that. And here's what we're doing. We're working directly with banks and hedge funds. We're buying distressed REOs, we're buying distressed notes, and we're buying it at huge discounts. We're getting 50 to 60% off of these properties because we have this relationship with these financial institutions. And the reason they want to deal with us is because we follow through. When we say we're going to close, we close. We're professionals. We know what we're doing. Now, these relationships have taken years to build. We have people inside of our community that started building these relationships 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, and we're still using them today. And this is what literally happens. We wake up in the morning, and then there's an Excel spreadsheet with 50 to 100 properties, right? Maybe some days it's 10, maybe some days it's 5, the next day it's 150. You get the point. We have a list of properties, and then we take that list of properties and we run it through an analysis, okay? So instead of spending our time marketing, we're spending our time analyzing these properties. And then we make an offer, right? If they already don't have a price on it, we make an offer. And that is how we're buying properties 50 to 60% off discounted price. And guess what? You can do that too. You can leverage our relationships. Okay. So the key is is marketing, is talking to people, is finding those conversations. Because if you don't have a conversation, you don't have a deal. If you don't have a conversation, there's nothing to analyze. If you don't have a conversation, there's no money to raise. If you don't have a conversation, there will be no check. I can assure you of that because I've tried it. I've tried it not talking to people, and guess what? You have to talk to people, right? So the question is are you going to talk to somebody, or are you going to have a partner that talks to somebody? If you're scared of it, trust me, I was scared of it. I found a way, right? If I found somebody that was really good at talking to people, and I was good at something else, and we partnered. So don't hesitate. Just figure it out. Okay. And if you need help, we have trainings. We have free trainings 2 to 3 days a week. We have advanced trainings 6 days a week, over 18 different support structures a week. Now, we have people that have been doing this for 35 plus years. They've done over 1,000 deals a year, all the way down to people who have never invested in real estate, and everyone in between. We're doing almost every type of real estate investing deal you can think of. And the idea is we can do more together. So if you're looking to join a fantastic team of real estate investors that are looking out for each other, that are helping each other, and meet 6 days a week live to have conversations, help you with whatever you need, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, valleyinvestmentclub.com. We have so much support, and we're only getting stronger, gang. Hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me and I'll get those questions answered. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye-bye.